Good morning, guys. I'm in the plant room getting ready for a mini plant purge. So I'm just kind of scoping out my collection, just seeing which plants bring me joy and which plants don't. And the plants that don't, it's not that there's necessarily anything wrong with them. It's just that I may not be connecting with them either anymore or just like from the beginning. Like maybe I gave it a shot, tried growing it, and it just maybe has a growth pattern or something about it that I'm just not really connecting with as far as trying to grow it out. So the Cebu Blue that I got from Steve's Leaves started out in a little 4-inch pot, and I did cuttings on it, so I propagated it and stuck those back in the soil and just made a nice bushy plant. So that one, I'm gonna be letting go of that one. And no fault of its own, it's just me. It's not the plant's fault. The plants are lovely. The calathea back here, that's the only calathea that I have in my collection. That one I'm gonna go ahead and let go of. Actually, my monstera, I might move that into the bedroom because that will open up that space. Yeah, there's just certain plants that I'm really connecting with, and I'm realizing that that's like a real passion. And then there's certain plants where it's just not totally, like I'm not totally connecting with them anymore. So this syngonium in the back here, that one I think is gonna be another one. That's syngonium batik. And I actually have a customer coming right now to pick up a plant. I've got 2 plants in the living room also I already picked out. My goodness, that actually looks like a lot. I'm not selling all of these. Some of these are just out here in the living room because that's where they live. But I do have this Scindapsus down on the floor. I have a customer coming for that one and the Monstera deliciosa back there, the large one. So both of those are going to be picked up in a few minutes. And I repotted the Cebu Blue. So that's in a little nursery pot now. And then I have some succulent cuttings down there. The Syngonium batik, I have that one down here also. So hopefully that one will find a new home also. And let's see, oh, the customer that came by earlier, she was actually coming by to look at the Monstera deliciosas, and she ended up with 3 or 4 other plants. So she ended up buying some different ones. One of the plants I didn't show you guys that she actually got was the Philodendron pedatum. And she got, oh yeah, string of pearls, and the Monstera siltepecana. So I think those were a few that I didn't mention to you guys earlier, but yeah, she got all of those, and my other customer should be here anytime. Okay guys, I'm back in the plant room. Oh, I've got some saucers down there I gotta move from the plants that have sold or that I've repotted and prepping for sale. Now I've got those watermelon peperomias down here. I'm trying to decide if I want to sell any of those right now. I was gonna do a care video on them, but I've got 3 pots of them and I can still do a care video without having 3 pots of them. Here's a plant, the Monstera spruciana. I've tried to grow this, and as you can see, it's got kind of a runner vine here that's just sort of tangled around there. I've been growing that since, I don't know, the springtime, and I just don't do well with it. It's got some dehydration stress going on there too. But, you know, maybe someone else might really enjoy this. It has beautiful kind of velvety leaves, but I just don't grow it very well. And I'm just not like giving it enough attention, I think. And I have a little pot that I propagated over here. So I think actually both of these, I'm gonna see if someone else would like to give these guys a shot. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do this one too. This is a really cool plant, but due to the amount of space or lack thereof that I have, I think this is gonna be one that someone else will really enjoy a lot. It's a really cool plant. I think this is called the Peruvianum maidenhair fern, or Peruvianum adiantum, something like that. But it's the Peru version of the maidenhair fern. And this is one that I think I'm gonna give up to. So I've just been working on some updates in the plant room, and I wanted to share those with you guys. So one of the things I did was I changed up this wall. I had a mirror here before, and actually I'll go ahead and stop and insert before clip so you can see what this space looked like before. All right guys, we're in the plant room. I'm moving some things around. We just got a new shelf at IKEA last weekend, and I was gonna be happy with any shelf that I could find for this wall over here because I wanted to utilize the space under the grow light over there. And so far I've just had a mirror over there to bounce light. We got another Vistjo shelf at IKEA, and it's one of the doubles. So right now I have like the singles here, but this time I was able to get a double one. So the elbow on that stand, I'm gonna change that whole situation going on. It has the totem that is just leaning against my mirrors, so that whole thing is going to end up getting repotted and moved someplace else. Those I'm going to just shift out, and I'm going to move the mirror and get the shelf in here. So Michael and I got 2 of these IKEA Vitstro shelves, and we left the top off. The top is normally solid, and we just left it with the frame open. So you can see there is nothing up here on the very top. It's just the frame, so it allows the light to pour through there. So we actually got 2 of these shelves, and one was supposed to be for the bedroom, but I'll explain more about that in a few minutes here. We're gonna end up moving it into the plant room here because it didn't fit our space in the bedroom that we had in mind. Good morning, guys. It's the next day, and I'm in the plant room moving some things around, just trying to organize the space here. And this wall is actually where we had our largest monstera, and Michael and I decided to actually move it into our bedroom. So now it's out in the bedroom, and since moving out the monstera, it really opened up quite a large space in the room now. So now I'm able to kind of change it up and do something a little bit different with it. Okay, this is the shelf. We got 2 of these IKEA Vitstro shelves. This one on this wall, I'm gonna have to figure out the grow light situation because I don't think this is gonna be enough light, just like residual lighting from that. I mean, it might be okay, but I might have to supplement here. I'll just have to figure out the grow light situation because I really don't have like I don't have like another spider farmer light to put above this or anything. Those are like my favorite lights, but I can always find something on Amazon. All right, let me make sure that's far enough away from the door. I've got one plug-in right down here in the middle, and that would actually be perfect for adding some grow lights up here. Okay, I've got my vinegar spray. I'm just spraying down the shelves and wiping those down. Okay, I'm gonna move some plants in here. I'll just chat with you guys as I'm moving stuff in. Okay, who wants to go up on the shelf? Let's see, I moved some plants around. I'm gonna try my queens up here. Let's see, I've got one more down here. And I'm just gonna see how they do, how they like it. I'm gonna put a crystallinum here. Actually, it's good that it's cloudy today because I'm able to see exactly how much light is making it in here to this wall. And I think I am gonna try to supplement because I don't think that's gonna be enough light for these plants, and I really don't wanna upset the queens. So I was using this light out in my office, and I ordered this on Amazon. It's just one of those gooseneck lights. It was like 20 bucks on Amazon. All right, let me just get this plastic off. For some reason, I still had the plastic around the little gooseneck part, and I'm hoping that the cord will reach because this actually has a really short cord. So this is the clamp style. I'll just show you guys because there's a ton of different LED grow light, like the gooseneck style on Amazon, but this one, it's all white and it has the little clamp on style. So sometimes it's like a screw on style. I have one of those too on the other side. This one is also pure daylight, so there's no pink tinge at all. My first one that I got does have a slight pink tinge, and I don't love that. I like just clean, not cool white, but more like a warmer white, like just a regular sunshine kind of light. So that's what these are. The only thing is it has a really short cord. What is that? Like, well, I guess it's like 4 feet long, but anyway, it's short compared to all my other lighting cords. Let me just figure out the best position for this and where I want to clamp it. So I'm going to clamp it to the back, and I'll just do the back and middle. Clamp it to that corner like that. And some of the goosenecks are more sturdy than others. Some of them can't really handle the weight and they end up kind of drooping and they won't really hold the form that you bend them in. Now the light strip on these tend to be pretty lightweight, and so they don't really have a lot of weight on them to kind of make that gooseneck fall out of place. But you do still kind of have to bend them around and make sure that it's in a position where it's gonna hold for you. But I normally don't have too much trouble with these. It has an on-off switch here, and it also has a built-in timer. I've actually never used the timer on this. Normally I use the timers that are plugged directly into the wall, into the outlet. And because this cord is pretty short, I'm gonna take the shortest distance down to the electrical outlet. So I'm gonna actually feed this right behind the shelf. So see the center bar here? I'm gonna follow that straight down. So it'll kind of help hide the cord a little. And then my plug-in is right here. Okay, so we're right there. Look at that. I have just enough room to turn this around and plug it in. Oh, that was perfect. Okay, I guess that works. That was kind of meant to be. That worked out well. Now we'll just see how the Anthuriums like this particular light. If they don't like it, I will certainly switch it out and try something different with them. there it is. So hopefully you can see the color of the lighting. It's just a nice sunny daylight with a hint of warmth to it, not overly warm, not overly yellow at all, and definitely not cool tone. So it's definitely gentle on the eyes, which for me, for grow lights, is super important. I do not like the cold tone lighting. I don't really like color, like pink tinge lighting either. I need something that's just really neutral and very soft and gentle on the eyes. Otherwise, I feel like I get stressed out. And that is not the idea of my plant room. My plant room is meant to just, you know, be like pure joy when I walk in, and I want it to feel good to be in here and spend time in here. I like spending time with my plants. Yeah, those lights, they're so sleek and streamlined. If you like a really minimalist light, I also like it because it was all white. You know, the gooseneck part, the clamp, every part of it was just white. And I just wanted something like that to be able to blend in. Look at that, it looks like a little, I don't know, like a little UFO, little UFO lights sitting up there, hovering over the plants. The queens. These are some other pots I'm actually going to downsize right now too. I totally forgot about these. So I actually only used one of these. I bought these on Amazon. So I bought these in a set of 6, and they're self-watering pots, but I don't like them. I don't like the way the bottoms attach, and so I'm going to, because the bottom can like fall off really easy if you go to move the pot or turn it or anything. I tried one and I just wasn't into it, so I'm going to pass those on to somebody else. Okay, my Ecuagenera USA package just arrived, and I'm going to unbox this in this video with you guys instead of doing like a separate unboxing video, I figured. So I've just got 2 plants in here, and this one is a big time wish list plants. Did someone put a rock in there? It's like really, really heavy. That's very unusual. Okay, I'll have to see what's happening with that one. So on the USA website, you do pay more for the plants. However, there's some plants that they have at the Florida location that they don't have on the Ecuador website. So that's actually why I ordered from them this time from the USA website. Otherwise, most of the time, I don't mind importing. I'm very patient, and if you're patient, then importing is great because you get the plants for you know, less money. It does cost more if you order on the USA website, of course, because plants are already there, they're already acclimated, which is also nice at the same time because they come already potted. You don't have to do anything to them, and the plants can just recover more smoothly than if they're imported. And there's just less for you to do overall. But yeah, I love importing from Ecuagenera or ordering from their USA website. Either way, I just really like them a lot. Let's see. Okay, actually I'm gonna grab my scissors, and Michael might be coming in here any minute. So like I said, this is gonna be a very casual unboxing within the vlog with you guys. And Michael might be home any minute, so if you hear some noises in the background, that'll probably be him. Also, if I have a plant that comes in that's potted in soil, I open it up away from the rest of my plants. So you can see I'm out here in my office. I'm not in the plant room because you don't want something escaping, just in case. You don't want like some sort of pest or fungus gnat getting into your collection. All it takes is one, let me tell you. One pregnant fungus gnat, and oh man, I've experienced that not too long ago, and I'm currently battling another war with those things. Horrible, horrible little creatures. What are they supposed to be good for anyway? I'm sure they have a reason for existing, but not in my house. Angamarcanum 1. Didn't I order just the regular Angam? I'm wondering, where did I put the packing list? I'm not sure if this is the right plant or not, because when I ordered it, I thought it was just the regular Angamarcanum. I don't know if that's how you pronounce this plant, but here it is. Oh, you know what? That might blind you guys. I will put it on the screen so you know which plant I'm holding here. But I thought I ordered just the regular Angamarcanum, but this one says 1 after it. I knew that that one was around, but I specifically did not order that one. I just got the regular one. Anthurium Angamarcanum seedling. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. So this is supposed to be a seedling, but I don't think it was supposed to be the one. I'm gonna have to contact them. You know, I'll have to email them. Okay, now let me get this out of the pot because, I mean, can it just be just the soil in here? This thing feels like it's like 5 pounds or something. Okay, I'm just gonna cut the top of this, and I'm just cutting the tape where I can see. I'm not cutting through the bag because that would be terrifying to cut through the top of a leaf or something. Terrifying for both me and the plant. I'm very excited to see this one. This is Syrinoi Velvety. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. That's gorgeous. I was chasing this plant for a while. They were out of stock for a while, and it's finally back in stock. Oh, okay. That one is not in a pot. It's completely in moss, but dang, that's heavy. This is a young plant, right? But when it gets older, when it starts to mature, those leaves are going to be awesome. Oh, and they're so velvety. Oh, heck yes. Gorgeous. So they've got some packing around the moss. I'm just gonna free that. Is that another little growth point? It is. Oh, you precious baby. Okay. Okay, that moss is, it's pretty wet. It's pretty wet, but everything looks good. Can you guys see the roots there? So it does have nice, fat, chunky, healthy white roots in there. That moss is pretty wet. I imagine they just really wanted to make sure it didn't dry out in shipping. But yeah, I'm just gonna give that a chance to, I'll just set it like on a terracotta pot and just give that a chance to kind of dry out a little bit. Okay, so they've got perlite mixed into the moss, so that's good. Give it a little more airflow. And in case I have anyone else there who's been looking for a Cyrenoi velvet, just so you can get an idea of how velvety that leaf is. I don't know if it's gonna come up in the lighting on camera, but it's super velvety and especially beautiful for being such a young plant. So both of these plants, before they get released into the plant room, I'm going to be quarantining them in a tub. That's normally what I do. I just flip it up on end because my tub isn't tall enough, like if it's just sitting flat. So I just tip it up on end, stick the plants inside, and put that in the plant room. So at least it's somewhat, you know, in its own private bubble. I'm just gonna have to contact them about this one just because I'm just not sure if I got the right plant, or maybe I did and it just didn't have that the one listed in the description on this particular one. So I'll just have to ask them. No big deal either way. I just want to know, like, you know, is there another one that I'm missing out on? Now, we're just vlogging here, so this isn't going to be like the end of the video or anything. We've got more to do. So let me clean this up and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I'm in the plant room. I'm just working away in here and it's actually nighttime right now. So I was doing some repots and yeah, late night repots. So this is what it actually looks like when I'm doing a repot and I'm not filming with you guys on camera and I'm not all like tidy at my desk. Basically, I just spread out all over the floor and I've got soil everywhere and pots everywhere and it is a mess, but that's okay. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, because we just unboxed this, well, for you guys, it'll be having just unboxed this. So this is the Cyrenoi Velvet, and I unboxed this with you guys actually last Wednesday, and it's now Sunday. And I thought, you know what? I'm seeing a little bit of yellowing here, and I know it has some mechanical damage right there, but I thought, you know, even though it was in a clear pot and just in moss and I could see some of the roots, I thought I better pull it out of there and really take that moss apart and see what's happening with the chunk and the roots in there. And I'm glad that I did, because actually it wasn't looking too hot. So there's the chunk. It's pretty thick, very, very hardy, but the root system, it's coming from just one root, and at the base of that where it's connected to the trunk, it's not looking good. Like it's basically like barely hanging on there. The end of the roots down here still look good, but I don't know if those are gonna die off or not, or if they're still like hanging on for dear life. I'm gonna leave them on for now just because I don't wanna take the last bit of root away from it, and they still look good on the ends. That moss was just too wet for it, so I'm gonna actually pot it into this terracotta pot. And actually that's what I've been doing this evening, was switching over some of my Anthurium that have not been doing too good in the self-watering and the plastic pots that I was using. So here they are right now, like the vented plastic pots. My Anthurium weren't loving the plastic. Like there's another like solid plastic pot. It definitely did not like that. I had a crystallinum in there, it hated it. They really like a lot of oxygen, these Anthurium. They like moisture too. Basically, it's like 50-50. You got to supply enough oxygen to the roots as well as moisture, but they don't want to be in soppy, soggy substrate of any kind. All right, there's the Cyrenoi Velvet, all potted up in its new terracotta pot. I'm using the orchid style terracotta pots too, so they got a few holes in the bottom, just like 3 around the sides. But there it is, the Cyrenoi Velvet. Hope it's gonna be okay. Man, I should have probably checked out those roots a little closer but they looked okay on the outside of the pot, but man, once you get inside, I guess that's the deal, huh? You just got to dig deeper and really make sure those roots, well, check what kind of condition the roots are when the plant comes in, and then go from there. So I've got a pretty simple Anthurium mix going here. So it's just cocoa chips, sphagnum moss, and pumice. And I did throw in a little bit of perlite just because I already had like a cup of wet perlite sitting out, so I just added that to it. Just to use it up. But yeah, basically just 3 ingredients, and it's a pretty light fibrous mix. So yeah, I wanted to change up the mix and see how this does. And that's the mix that I'm using for the queens too. And I do have a queen up there that put out a brand new leaf. So far so good with this one. The Syngonium velvet I'm gonna put on the shelf right here. It has a pretty sizable chunk on there, so hopefully it's gonna give me another chance to reroot it. But yeah, I probably should have taken that out of that wet moss sooner than I did, because leaving it in there for over the weekend, not a good idea. Here's another plant that I just repotted that has been pissed off as a mother when I put it in plastic. Oh man, I had that originally in terracotta, tried to put it in a nice, nice, lovely white plastic pot. It started hating life immediately. So like this, I'll show you what happened. As soon as I put it in plastic, this stuff started happening, and that is not from dehydration, that's from edema. This is another plant I'm probably going to be repotting tomorrow, the Philodendron Patriciae, you guys know what I'm saying. It just put out this beautiful new leaf too that's still hardening off and still kind of opening up there. I tried this in the self-watering pot, but I was still having to water it. I was noticing that the leaves were kind of getting a little bit limp every once in a while, and I was like, okay, maybe I need to water it more than just the water that it's soaking up from the wick. So I'd take it into the kitchen, water it, and so that's why the water is all discolored here, because the soil juice was still like dripping through when I would put it back into its little pot holder there. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna take it out of that plastic pot because I feel like it might be happier in terracotta. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna try it though, because I tried this way and I'm not loving this way. So let's try something new, right? And here's an update on this wall. So I've got some of my queens up there. Their little light is on, so it's pretty gentle light for them. They don't like it too bright. And then I have some little pots down here, the little terracotta and white design, and then my watering can and some other white cash pots down there. So that's the update on that shelf. And also we did the same thing as the other Vitjo. So we did not put the solid top in. So that's completely just open there with just the frame up top. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. Oh, and look at this. Baby queen has a brand new leaf coming in. I can't wait to see that one unfurl. And oh, and this is a brand new leaf right here on this one too. You know, some of the older leaves are a little bit roughed up. That was me, by the way. Completely my fault when you see this stuff going on. That was because I had this planted in plastic originally, and that did that. So it was not pleased about that. So that's why it's back in terracotta. And the Syngonium velvet, oh my gosh, you guys, I really hope this one makes it. I love this plant. It is so velvety and gorgeous. Oh, it just brings me so much joy and happiness when I walk in this room and see this. But yeah, I'm really hoping that that one survives. That velvet on there is so beautiful. Anyway, I will do my best with that one. This is an old leaf here on the crystallinum. That one is still hanging on for dear life. Normally I don't even worry about yellowing leaves. I leave them on. If there's any bit of green on there, I leave it on. The plants right down here, those are the Philodendron Plowmanii. Those are crawlers, and that's the mother plant, and those are all of her babies. So I think that's everything as far as the updates for this shelf goes, and everything that I'm trying to keep on it for now. If the Philodendron Plowmanii, if they're not happy there, I'm just kind of testing those out. If it's too much light or not enough light, I know they're pretty sensitive to lighting, so I can move them if they're not happy there. But yeah, I can switch anything around. That's normally what I do. I try a plant somewhere and then I just watch it and see how it reacts. If it's not happy, I move it right away and find a better place for it. And I have some other plants that are going to be coming in. One from Ecuagenera that was from their Black Friday sale. That should be coming in a couple weeks. And then another company sent me some plants that should be coming in, I think, on Monday, which I'm super excited for. But I just really want to make sure I keep on top of my collection and sort of, shift plants out to make room for wish list plants as I kind of slowly acquire them. which is a very slow process, but I want to just make sure that I have the space and the setup and of course the time to dedicate to the plants that I really, really want to grow, that I'm really interested in. Both of these Anthuriums, the Pallidiflorum and the Pindens up here, both of those are still in plastic pots, so I'm going to be switching those into the terracotta pots. And I think that's all for now. Let's see. Oh, this was a little baby. I was rooting that one out in pumice and it rooted out beautifully, and then I potted it up just this evening. So hopefully that one will be happy in there. I also just repotted this one, the Anthurium curating. This big one has already been in its terracotta pot and it's doing lovely. It's putting out a brand new leaf over here that's still filling out. And this one I originally had in terracotta, and for some unknown reason I decided to switch it and put it into plastic with the vents, right? Like the clear pots with the vents. I thought that they would like that. It did not like it, I'm telling you. But yeah, the curating, oh man, that thing was not happy about the plastic when I put it in there. I don't know, for some reason I was just thinking, oh, maybe I should try the plastic clear pots because I'm in the desert and you always hear that Anthuriums need to hold on to moisture. But I swear mine do much better in terracotta, at least in the plant room setup that I have here right now. And with the humidity that I have, and also I guess the air circulation too. So I don't know, everyone kind of finds something that works for them, and terracotta, man, I just love it. It just works so well for so many of my plants. But my crawling philodendrons so far have done well in the self-watering pots, so I'm pretty happy about that, especially this luxurians. I think it's putting out a new leaf. It's got a new caterpillar under here. Let's take a peek. Yeah, there's a new caterpillar there. It's got the old kind of shriveled part there, but it's got a new leaf all furled up behind there. So far that one's been doing good in the self-watering plastic pots. And the Gloriosum, we just actually repotted this in a recent video and it's already got a new leaf. Look at that spike coming through there. So I'm hoping that it grows in the right direction though. It's kind of facing this way, so I don't know, I might have to adjust the position of the pot there to make sure it grows straight. All right, so I'm gonna finish up here and get cleaned up, and then we'll start fresh again tomorrow morning, Monday morning. See you guys then. Good morning guys, it's the next day. I'm back in the plant room, and if my hair looks a little bit different from earlier in this video, I did go to the salon and I'm filming this video on like multiple days, so it's sort of like spread out probably over a week's time. But yeah, I just went and had my hair done at the salon, so if it suddenly looks different, that's why. Let's see, what I'm working on today is part of the downsizing process, which is consolidation. Sometimes we have multiple pots of plants that are the same plant, you know? So I've got to consolidate some of those. So I have multiple pots of micans and variegated string of hearts. I have a bunch of pots of variegated string of hearts because I propagated them. And I've been slowly selling off all of my pots of propagations because I had a ton of Tradescantia that I propagated into like little 6-inch pots. And I sold off the last of those, so I was really grateful for that. They all found new homes. And then also I sold off the last of my Scindapsus propagations too. So all of those all found new homes. So I'm gonna be working on the vanilla orchids today. Those are over at my desk over here. I've got the green one and a variegated one. The green one is attached to my wall right now by accident. It kind of just like snuck up there, and all of a sudden it was climbing up my wall. And it reached a certain point where it got close to the grow light and it just stopped growth, and it started pushing out growth from below again. So it doesn't want to be there. It's too bright for it, so I need to take it off the wall. I don't know how that's gonna go, but we're gonna see. Hopefully it doesn't rip off all the roots or my paint. So I think I'm actually gonna tackle the vanilla orchids first. So this was actually a little tiny plant when I first got it, and I guess it just got onto the wall and it just took off and started climbing up, but then it stopped once it got too close to the grow light and it was getting too bright for it, so it just halted all growth, and it has been waiting, I guess, to find a different location. Can you guys see that root that's attached right there? I don't know how stuck on the wall this is, but maybe if I start at the top. I can't believe how stuck on it is. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry if I break any roots, I don't mean to. I just need to get you off the wall. Shoot, I shouldn't have let it get so attached to the wall. Oh good, okay. That's coming off a little easier now. I only lost one root up here, right there, just the tip of it. It made some marks on my walls, but it didn't like rip the paint off. I think I can just wipe those down. Actually, it's still in its original nursery pot, which is sad because it's this tiny little pot. I got it from Steve's Leaves. Anyway, so that vanilla orchid needs to get repotted. And then this one over here, let me show you what's going on with this one. So this is the variegated version, and basically I put it like a ding dong, I put it on a moss pole where the roots cannot attach because the moss just keeps flaking away, and it doesn't appreciate that. So it's continuously trying to hold on for dear life, but it just can't hold on to the moss. So like literally this moss pole defeats the purpose of having it in there to begin with. I do need to repot both of these, so that's going to be a project I'll be working on today. And then also the micans over here. These are all rehabs. So on this shelf down here, there's some, and then up here also. So all of those need to get sorted out there. They're actually rehabs from a big box store. And the big box store, well, it was Lowe's. They had them outside, sopping wet, and it's been freezing cold, and they've been leaving them out overnight in the freezing cold with totally wet soil, and also in a really peculiar corner where nobody even walked. So I thought that was kind of weird. But anyway, I ended up getting all of them because I just felt really bad. I mean, at first I just got a few, and then I felt bad for the others, and I went back and got the other ones that were really not in good shape, but I think they're all coming back nicely now. Like a lot of the leaves had looked like that, and they lost a lot of leaves too. And you can see all the scars, like the cold damage. We got lots of new growth going on though, so they seem to be happy, and I think they are rehabbing just fine here in the plant room. Let me show you guys over here. I need to consolidate these. Yeah, I guess I got kind of excited about propagating variegated string of hearts, and so now I've got all these little pots and I need to do something with them because they're all over the place. And that doesn't even include my other string of hearts that are trailing here. Like there's this one on this side that is hitting the floor, and same thing with this one over here on this side. They're twins, they're both dragging on the floor. So there's the roots on the green vanilla orchid. It's looking really good, nice, chunky, healthy white roots. Okay, let me show you what mix I'm using for the vanilla orchids. So I've got a base of cocoa chips and fiber and cocoa peat. And then also for aeration, I've got pumice, the coarse pumice, and then perlite. I also have some bits of sphagnum moss that were just kind of, you know, like upcycled or recycled sphagnum moss that I just cut up and threw in here. And then we've got some horticultural charcoal, just a little bit of that, and a little bit of worm castings. I'm gonna be using kind of a larger terracotta pot compared to what the plant would actually need, but it's because I'm using a totem. So I got this tall cocoa husk totem here that I'm gonna be putting in the pot. I've got some damp sphagnum moss here. I'm just gonna do a layer of that on the bottom of the pot. That's gonna act kind of like my little screen on the bottom, just kind of holding the soil from falling through the drainage hole. This totem is gonna be pretty tall. Let's get some of that soil in there. So light and fluffy. Okay, now let's get the vanilla in here. Okay, make sure the pole is sturdy enough in the front here. I'm gonna take a piece of garden Velcro and I'm just gonna attach this taller vine. Okay, I just temporarily secured the taller vine up higher on the totem just so I can make some room here to get to these little lower offshoots here. So I wanna get that one kind of up on the totem along the side, and then this one also. I'm just gonna attach these guys all right here so their roots can start grabbing on. Okay, I'm gonna go grab a saucer, find a place that I think will be happy. It's probably gonna end up being in the center here somewhere because I think that'll be the right lighting for it. They do like bright light, but they don't need like direct sun or anything. They're just happy in indirect lighting, but they do like a lot of light. All right guys, here's the syngonium albo. I've been meaning to get around to chopping this. I'm just gonna do it right now. I'm not gonna put it off any longer. I'm just gonna chop it up. I don't wanna stress it out too much, but it is time. It's time to get propagated here. I've got some dead leaves on here too. That's all from dehydration. I just have really severely been lacking on giving this poor thing water, at least the amount of water that it wants. I'm pretty sure I've been needing to repot it because it's just such a thirsty thing. I'm just gonna chop the heck out of this and we're gonna completely restart it. Okay, let's chop right here. And actually I'm gonna pull that leaf off. Let me take off this moss. I'm gonna reuse this moss too that's in here. See, anytime I have moss like this, a lot of times I'll just throw that into soil mixes. So just kind of recycle it. Actually, I'm gonna take that right down here, almost to the soil. It's got one dead leaf hanging on there. Okay, I can see the active growth points on each node here, so I'm gonna just start chopping away. And I'm gonna put all of these in a prop box. We're gonna do perlite, just like the video I just recently did. So I got a good looking wet stick there with a very nice root on it. I'm gonna have to figure out what all these things are gonna be doing. All right, I'm just gonna gather all the cuttings and put those in a jar together. Some distilled water. Okay, for these, I'm probably gonna put these in a perlite prop box, and I'm not gonna do that on camera because I just did a video on my perlite propagation and how I do it, and my setup for it. So if you guys wanna see how I do it, then check out that video. Otherwise, these I'm just gonna handle off camera. I'll show you the after though. I just stuck the cuttings or the wet sticks just vertical. So I just jammed them right in the perlite. And also there's the crazy roots, because if I can preserve roots, I try to. I really don't want to cut roots if I don't have to, so I just laid them on the wet perlite too. And if they make it, if they live, then great. If not, that's okay too. But I just want to show you guys how those look, just vertically stuck in the perlite. And I will just keep those in a bright location. And I just realized my self-watering pots are running a little low on water, so I'm going to replenish these. And this is Philodendron luxurians. Oh my gosh, I love this plant so much. It is such a delight. Okay, the water level is down on the gloriosum, but it's still damp on top, so I leave it. Normally I'll let them dry out a tiny bit in between before I refill their water. The Postosanum is showing it's completely dry, and it's dry on the surface, so then that's when I go ahead and water. Let's see, what's our humidity at right now? 58% humidity in here and 78 degrees. And I just went and refilled my water. I do use Super Thrive in here, so I just put a few drops, and then also my liquid fertilizer. I use Eleanor's VF11. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, there we go, it just went up to the max. All right, so that shows it's on minimum, but the surface is still damp. So if the surface is still damp, I don't replenish the water until I start to see that dry a little bit, and then I'll give it more water. All right, I think those guys are done. And Michael and I went to Lowe's last night, and I picked up some more sets of these. So the saucer and the terracotta orchid pots, I really like these a lot. That is the brand new leaf of my baby queen, my little bitty baby. Oh, I forgot I was supposed to get the Splendid potted up in this video too, but you know what? I'm gonna have to do that in another one. In fact, I'll save that for the unboxing video, and I'll just make that one like a unboxing and updates for some Etsy plants you guys haven't seen yet. Okay, one thing I haven't done is anything with these watermelon peperomia. They're still all three sitting on my floor here. I haven't figured out exactly what I'm gonna be doing with all of those, but I do want to do a care video on them sometime. When I got these, they were such little sprigs of a plant. Like they were so sparse and kind of sickly, but now they're looking much better, and they've all filled out really nicely. So I'm really happy with how those have been growing. They have been growing like crazy though. They do take up some floor space here. I might have to figure out another situation for those guys. I didn't really get into repotting the micans with you guys in this video because it's gonna be its own video. So I do have one of them down here that I consolidated, and my goodness, these velvety dark leaves are so delicious. Like, oh my gosh, that just is one of my favorite plants. It brings me so much joy just to walk in the room and look at it. I love it. Oh, I didn't show you guys where I have the vanilla set up, so that's where they are, sitting on my little table in the middle of my room right now. So the type of lighting they're getting is indirect light and a little bit of morning filtered sunlight coming in from this window. And then they also get some residual lighting from my grow lights here, and the window that's just behind me also. So I just wanted to share some of the updates I'm doing with you guys in the plant room, and also some of the little changes that I've been making, and consolidation of certain plants, and just making more space. This is the area that I'm still working on here, so I don't know if I'm gonna leave that stand there with that particular plant on it. Got a couple plants on the floor back there, so there's still a lot that I'm working on in here. But one of my main missions for, I guess, kind of updating my plant room is also to curate a collection of plants that I really, really love. And I don't want to have too much because I only have so much time. You know, we all only have so much time to spend with our plants and care for them and fight pests for them. So it's something where there's a lot of really cool plants, right? But we can only own so many varieties of them because we only have so much space and time to spend with them. So while I'm downsizing some plants, I'm making room for other plants. That's really my main goal right now. Is I'm in the actively collecting phase because I'm still pretty new to growing aroids. You know, I've grown a lot of different types of plants over the years, from orchids and succulents out in Maui to cactus here and other types of succulents here, lithops and all kinds of little plants. But the aroids are the newer thing that I've gotten into, I guess, like over the past 2 years, I would say. And I'm really curious to hear what your guys' phase is that you're currently in with your plant collection. Let me know in the comments below. So with the plants, I'm like really careful now, much more careful than I was before. When I first got into collecting, I was kind of just like very excited every time I went to a Lowe's or Home Depot. But now I'm kind of like, okay, I got a better idea. I get a better hold on what I really enjoy growing and like the growth patterns of particular plants. And plants in particular take up a lot of time. Sorry, I looked like directly at you. No, I love you. You are one of my favorites. I love you. I can't say favorites because they're all listening. And I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Well, that's why I don't tell them if they're getting kicked out until the day of. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that though, to allow yourself the freedom to clear stuff out of your life if it's not bringing you joy, because that way it opens up space to bring in the things that do. Anyway, I really enjoy the feeling of just walking into a really clean, organized space with not so much in it. And it probably looks like there's a lot in my plant room, which I mean, it depends on, you know, what kind of a collector you are. But for me, this is getting into a good situation. I have the plants that I love. I'm learning how to grow them. It's very exciting. I'm very much into what I do have. I love them. They are my precious babies. And I really get a lot of joy out of growing those. I'm experimenting with growing queens now, which is super exciting because those have been like my plant crush for a long time. But I was kind of afraid of them for a while, but now I feel more confident, you know, in growing with them, and I feel okay making mistakes with them and whatever, you know, because it's all part of the learning process. So anyway, this is gonna be kind of like a little series of doing the plant room updates because I have more to do in here, more consolidation, and I couldn't fit it all into one video. But this one's gonna be super long already, so I'm gonna let you guys go for now. I love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I really enjoy sharing my hobbies with you guys, and I just love you so much, and I have so much fun with you. I will see you in the next video, and actually, wait, okay, this video is gonna go up first, I think, and then oh my gosh, I've got like 10 videos I'm filming at the same time right now. Okay, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one coming up like right after this. Okay, bye guys.